Good afternoon. It's probably 6 or so on Sunday. It's my brother-in-law's birthday. We saw him this morning. Well, my former brother-in-law's birthday. We saw him this morning. He was here to fix some pipes for us in our shower. So we saw him and wished him a happy birthday then. And paid him triple time for his time for working on his birthday. If I look a mess, and I know I do look a mess, it's because today has been a very rough day. Ben was sick all day yesterday. So much so that I just spent the afternoon on the couch with him, holding him and supporting him and trying to help him every way I could. He was up a lot during the night last night, and he passed away around 6:30 this morning. So my husband, thank God for him, he shoveled a hole in the backyard and we buried him after the kids woke up. Perry is still here. He's a little bit confused today. He got down in the hole with Ben's body. We let him see him, of course, through the whole thing to try and help him understand what was happening and where Ben was going, because he gets quite anxious when I take Ben someplace that he can't go. So he got to crawl in the hole, sniff him. As much as a dog could understand, he's not around anymore. We covered him up. And Perry's been over there to that spot a couple of times so far, just sniffing around. Here's hoping we dug him deep enough that Perry doesn't try to take him up. That terrier thing. So yeah, it's been a rough morning. It's been a rough 2 days. I woke up at 6:30. I couldn't sleep anymore. I was getting ready to take him to the vet to have him put down when he passed away. Couldn't fall back to sleep, obviously. We got up and we sat out here, and my husband ate something. Well, I couldn't eat anything. I had a cup of tea, and a little while later I had another cup of tea. And finally, I guess it was almost 11 something, maybe 10, I forced myself to eat something, so I made a frittata, a veggie frittata, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but I looked at it when I had made it and I didn't want it. But nobody else wanted it, so I went ahead and ate it because I needed something, and it was fine. It was good. And then after that was all done, and we came in from burying him, everybody just kind of went their separate ways. The kids went to their rooms to do their thing. Randy went to his office, and I ended up curling up on the sofa here and falling asleep. I slept for 4 hours. Not straight through, but off and on. I mean, I had a deep sleep, dreaming and everything. So, and then my husband, he wanted to get Grotto for dinner, so when I woke up, Grotto was on its way here, or pretty much almost here. So I had cauliflower crust pizza, and then I had just a very small, I mean, look at the size of this cup. That is a very small coffee, because I usually have 2 coffees in a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and I didn't want to get a caffeine headache, or lack of caffeine headache. I'm way behind on my drinking. I've barely touched my water, the first one that I made this morning, the green tea water. I've barely touched it, so I need to chug that down. Everybody is acting weird today. Even Perry is not as jumpy and playful as he normally is. He's just kind of hanging out. There's a somber thing that just seems to have fallen over the house. My mom, she's really upset. Ben died from chronic bronchitis, which is sort of like COPD for humans. So it was a really disturbing and unpleasant way to go. And my father died from that. Not quite the same way, but similarly. And I don't know if she's drawing a parallel or what, or if it's just because he was such a sweet, cute little dog. But she's really... I'm glad she wasn't here when we buried him, because she didn't really need to see that. So... And I don't know. I'm questioning whether I hallucinated this morning. I know emotional distress can do it. I don't know if the emotional distress was that severe, but something made it happen, because I looked out in my yard. I looked out in the yard and I saw Annabelle, our female cat, walking through the yard. She walked over and sniffed one of the holes that Perry dug shortly after he arrived here. And, you know, that was cute. I was just watching her walk through the yard, as she does. And I got up to go do something. I don't remember what it was. And I saw her in the house. And so I came back out and I looked in the yard again and I saw Zeus out there. And I said, oh, that was Zeus, not Annabelle. And he was out by our raspberry bush and he was just sitting there looking at me. And I gotta admit, I had a weird feeling when it happened. But he was just sitting there looking at me, you know, and then I left and I thought, okay, it was just Annabelle that I saw. And I eventually did make it all the way to our bedroom where I was originally headed. And he was laying on our bed. So I've never hallucinated before. My husband was looking at me like I had turned upside down in green. I don't understand it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. He never saw the cats in the yard, but he was sitting on a spot on the couch where he wouldn't have seen the cats in the yard. So I don't know what that was, but I know what I saw, and they were our cats. And I don't know what happened. So, yeah, it's weird to see your cats in the yard and then immediately see them in the house. That was just strange. So it's been a long, strange day. It could just be because I'm tired from not getting enough sleep the last few days. I don't know, but that happened, so it's never happened to me before, and I'd be glad if it never happens to me again. That was not a pleasant experience. Yeah. So, I've been trying to eat good today. Obviously not getting a whole lot of exercise because I am just drained. Not just physically drained, but like mentally and emotionally drained too. So I'm just gonna stay here, and you know, you have to let it out. So I'm just gonna feel what I feel, and if I cry again, I cry again. I do that off and on, or I have done that off and on today, and get it out of my system so it doesn't, you know, get stuck somewhere pent up with stress causing other problems. And I think that's it for now. I'll check in later if there's anything to check in about, but I don't know if there will be. Yesterday there wasn't. I don't know if there will be today, but anyway, that's all for now, and that's plenty for now. So I didn't get on the scale I didn't really have much chance to get on the scale this morning with everything that was happening. So, we'll find out what I weigh tomorrow. And that's all I've got for now. So, talk to you later.